Well, hello everybody, welcome back. I am actually just loading back in. I actually took a couple days break from this particular run, just to kind of reset myself. I try not to push through one run super quickly, so one of the reasons I actually recorded several videos ahead of time, so I had a little cushion. But we're picking our group up. You can see we're in the Underdark. We've already gone in. We've kind of bought a couple items, some movement speed, extra damage, things like that. We're actually at a great pace, to be honest. We still have a short rest. Like, usually I will have rested right before I come to the Underdark after anti-ethels, but we're in really good shape. There's no reason for us not to keep pushing, to be honest. So that's what we're going to do. But we are going to go back to camp for a couple of things that we had not done yet. So we're not going to long rest, but we are going to go back to camp. Specifically, something that's going to very much help us with our next little bit, which is I need to talk to Willow. I will also need to talk to Gale. You can see he's in his classic hunched over, needs another item phase. So first let's look, do we have something we can give him? Probably this Absolute Talisman or the Amulet and the Unworthy. So we should be good. Gale can destroy either of those. So I think we're going to be set on that. So let's go and knock that out real quick.
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact.
And soon. So we'll give him one. We'll go with that Amulet Unworthy. Like, there's a few things. Robe of Summer. Although he could actually wear that. This Everseeing Eye I probably wouldn't use. A few other things here and there, but that one will work.
Thank you. Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mistra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent. I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy, who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it, much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself, the Lady of Mysteries, the goddess Mistra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse, and later even my lover. Oh yes, we enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mistra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross. Yet, every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale?
So we could hear it all if we want, but yeah, we're going to do that.
Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite. His entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms. Until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? You know me. My gestures can never be grand enough. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, then suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry?
Terrifying, isn't it? And that is only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. Rather worse, actually. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. Every waking moment. Every dreaming moment, too. But there was no way out. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways.
I mean, we got a vampire hanging out with me, a Sharon cleric. Sure, why not? Oh, and of course, Karlak has, you know, her infernal heart.
That is
Sure, why not?
a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
Oh, we are so tired of the sound of your voice, to be honest. He is a talker. He definitely has a lot to say on a pretty regular basis. We need to go find Volo. Because we need to finish up his portion of what he was doing.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep, just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all.
Then he pulls out a knitting needle.
Volo carefully
we're trying to get
holds
rid of
one
it,
your
so.
eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle. The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push. Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it!
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick. Volo slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow.
No one in the group likes it,
And then-
basically.
Tap, tap, stab.
I agree. It's
With
a
that,
feisty critter.
sounds like I'm
Just-
trying to hold the pain.
Little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
Drat.
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly as it sinks into the mud.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. Please, try not to overexert yourself. You're in a rather fragile state at present. I can't help but feel partly responsible.
Part.
Perhaps there is something more I can do. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
Volo's kind of an idiot, but this is the main reason we did this. We now have a see invisibility. It's a shorter range. I think it's 9 meters instead of 18, but very useful. And then we'll finish everything else up later. For now, we're going to head back out. We don't want to end the day. We're going to leave camp. We're back in the Underdark. And then, let's see. Okay, let's hide our completed quests. Okay, I couldn't remember if we had actually spoken to this or not. Like I said, it's been a couple days. But I think we do need to still speak up here, because it looks like the Sovereign's still in where he started. We basically got our quests and sold. But we didn't talk to this guy yet.
Seems like a good moment to talk. What is the creature?
Sovereign's thick fingers stroke the corpse at its feet. Droning melody greets you.
I
as
promise
the
we'll get some
creature
action.
turns its gaze to you.
Flesh talker, I show you a memory.
brilliant vision grips you. Dwargar, dark dwarves chopping Myconid remains.
They broke our peace. They killed our young.
The sovereign's song slows to the pace of a dirge. It is still in mourning.
We laid waste to many, but intruders remain. Lakewood.
The sovereign's song halts as it measures your worth.
I sense your resolve. You will find Dwargar invaders near Lake's Edge. Cleanse the rot. Destroy them.
I admit, I like this one's approach. A little genocidal, but effective.
Deep purples swirl into familiar shapes. Gnomes in mining gear, chased by Dwargar.
The Dwargar seek a gnome. It is a guest.
The sovereign says nothing, but you hear appreciation in its song.
It's interesting is if you look close in my eyes, the one on my right eye is now like a gray color instead of gold. But
An illusion
yeah,
comes
you can see it
over.
here.
A Dwargar choking on a cloud of gleaming dust.
Accept this gift. It will help you exterminate.
Yeah, really
The
close. You can see
sovereign
it there.
gifts you one more vision. A wall of vines parting to reveal glowing light.
Riches of magic and mind. Cleanse the rot, and they are yours. You do the circle a service. We will await word.
I don't want to know what he's doing to the corpse, but we are going to talk to one more person before we head out.
Don't.
Well, might be two.
Her condition is familiar. Poison, derived from a wild weed common to the Underdark. She'll need an antidote soon, most likely held by the poisoner.
Dwargar slashed me. Graze. Don't share. Talking hurts. Leave me. Please.
Okay, we'll let her rest, but we are going to go get her cure, hopefully, as well.
It greets you with a harrowing elegy, cheerless as the new moon.
That was one of those weird things where car walking nearby triggered it. And then we do have one more. This guy's going to trigger as we head out. He's going to want to come with us.
Fleshwalker. Tongue talker. Far you've come. Reach into memory. Tell me of home.
It reveals its own home in reply. A humid cove filled with decaying Myconid corpses.
Dwargar destroyed my people. I am a sovereign with no circle. This circle does not welcome me. But I have heard the song. You mean to cleanse the Dwargar rot. I mean to join you. Remain in the Underdark, and I will follow. We cleanse the rot together.
So interestingly, you could actually go do a number of other things with him if you wanted to, rather than go straight to, you know, killing the Dwargar. But yeah, we're just gonna go straight to killing the Dwargar. I think the way we're gonna go is back the way we initially came in. And you can see he's now attached as like a little follower to me. We're hurrying along. So our main focus right now is trying to get to level 6 before we finish like this part of the Underdark. Really. By this part I mean, I should say before we finish Grimforge. Oh, didn't actually mean to turn there. Good job me, just made a little circle. Apologies all. There we go. So we're gonna head out this way, and you can see sometimes you can move the map around and kind of speed things up for yourself. It's a classic thing you could do in the original Baldur's Gates as well. Of course, there's a little less of a flexible map.
Corpses. These creatures did battle with Dwargar.
Yep. So as we're moving down, we are working towards the Dwargar,
What's hiding
or
here?
the main bulk of the Dwargar, and we're gonna fight the remaining ones in this area. Technically, it's not all of them. There's more in the Underdark. We're gonna run into more, but there's one real group of them still here that we're gonna deal with.
Camp. Looks abandoned.
We're actually gonna come over here first, because I think one of these guys has a pretty nice little weapon. There it is, yeah. See if Astarion can use that. I think he's using a longsword right now, though. Yeah, if we were gonna dual wield, this is a nice little short sword that we could stick on him. Basically, if it's the first hit, it deals an additional section or chunk of damage. In this case, since Astarion's not dual wielding, we're not gonna do that. Let me put this up in our curious book. We did pick up a little more poison, though. Always a good thing. Oh, I just realized we had those sitting up there too. Alright, so we are going to head over. And you're going to see very shortly why I was like, it would be a really good thing to have the invisibility. As we move into the door area. Okay, do you see how we found him? Now we all made a fail to save. Normally you would get the like, hey, this is a great place for an ambush. In this case, we didn't get that, but we still saw it. So we're gonna stealth the group. Astarion's gonna... Ooh, somebody can see us. We'll actually break the group up. Astarion's gonna slide back into stealth.
Let's keep to the shadows.
And he's gonna actually open our combat. Now, you might ask, well, who saw you? In fact, there's actually a guy over here. So, I'm actually gonna trigger that guy. You can see I can see him. Now I have the angle. I'm gonna go and hex this guy. are going to actually twin chromatic. We're gonna do a thunder one. One to him. Okay, our path is interrupted, so I wasn't actually that worried about twinning. So, actually in this case I'm gonna use a second level spell. We're gonna Scorching Ray this guy. Now we could auto crit one of them, we're not gonna do that. Oh, one of them crit anyway though. So you can see that was pretty devastating to him. Kinda curious, let's just see. Yeah, you can see that crit damage. Right here. Boom. Definitely took a chunk. So, we'll close that back out. Love looking at it though. This is the first character I've really kind of built with crit in mind. I'm gonna actually step around. I'll need to come back the other way in a minute, but you can see we did surprise this group. So there we have actually successfully killed him as well. And we are going to move up and hide. Because we want to be able to essentially rinse repeat that. Now we didn't move these two in, and we're going to do that now. Because we do want to make sure that they're involved. So Karlak's going to actually come up. And she's going to attack our little friend, Get Cole. Now Get Cole is like guy in charge, basically. And why not? We're going to go ahead and smite him. Oh. Except I actually didn't click it. Just kidding, we're not going to smite him. So technically we could rage. There's a number of things we could do. We're going to actually give him a little push. First off, he takes damage from it. Second off, we're keeping our people at a range. Shadowheart is going to come slipping in as well. Now our girl can do melee. Obviously, she's got a really nice hammer. But she also has a ton of her spells left. So we're going to actually take advantage of her spells. And she's going to go ahead and just throw a guiding bolt on our guy. You can see critical hit. He is down. He's down for the count. And the only one I have left is actually invisible, which is rather a pain, but we will somehow survive that. Okay. Now we are going out. Sorry, my stuff probably got a little quiet there. Still getting used to this, and somebody sent me a message on Discord. Alright. Now we're going to move him in, but we're not going to actually have him move all the way up. Now here, we can miss these steps. So where do I want to go to? Has to be somewhere where I can see, which is kind of a pain. So I don't really have a lot of movement left. But we have a misty step right to there so I can go down. Should have enough movement for that. And let's see if I can throw something. If I remember correctly, she is somewhere right over there. Got her. She's right there. Right on the edge even.
Let's turn someone inside out.
So we should be able to get a star in close enough to get this sneak attack off. Can he get close enough to so he has advantage? Let's see if he gets here. Would he be able to do it? Apparently not, but we can go and just, she's already on fire. Let's make her more on fire. There we go. Or he, sorry. I don't know why I was calling her she, but he's already on fire. He didn't get to do very much. No, I'm not a big fan of Sovereign Glut, so I don't mind him taking a little extra damage to get down there. He can only use this attack if they're prone, which is a bit of a downer. I didn't bring Lizelle, who's my big knock him down. You can still punch him.
Now this is my happy place.
On the other hand, Karlak is our girl, so we're not going to leap and take damage. Finish him off. So now he wants to kind of talk to us, so... Oh. So we're going to bring our group together down here. We'll loot in a minute. So he wants to talk to us. So... I know what's going to happen, but we'll watch.
The tumor is excised. The Dwarga are dead. Here I break ground. From the dark will a mighty circle rise. My song will fill the grotto. Death Doer. The grotto may sustain but one sovereign. In the age of glut, there may be no spore. Eliminate the other sovereign.
So what we have here is basically he's asking us to kill the other sovereign. No, that's not my way. I'm not going to turn on the guy, so
You shall never
we're just going to kill him.
no home.
And Astarion likes the idea. So we all get to go before him. So he's about to have a really bad day.
My turn.
And in fact, we're going to go ahead, melee. We're going to go branding smite him. You can see he actually has significantly more health. Don't know where all that was when he was running around with us, but you know, it's fine. We've already knocked him down a good, what, 40? Another 30 off of for Astarion, and then I'm actually going to come in just... I could crit. Not going to. So now comes Shadowheart. You know, our girl. She only has one extra attack left from her War Priest charge, so we're not going to use that. Kind of begs, like, what are we going to do? Because it looks like he might get a turn. So we're going to go and use this attack. Because I don't want to use that. And the snaring is not going to do enough. So yeah, we're going to go and give him the turn. It's fine. A little bit of damage to everybody, but nothing crazy.
A sovereign with no subjects. Glut.
We're gonna all move away from that, or else slightly like you did.
I'm ready.
You know, we're gonna go ahead and use her healing radiance. See what that brings us back up for. Fills her back up. Most of us are in now good enough shape that one quick potion. Oh,
What are you thinking about?
Tet, we'll talk later. Um, one quick potion should get most of us pretty full, so that'll be fine. A little awkward. Ah, and this is the antidote we needed too. So we now killed the Dwargar. We've gotten the antidote. We're gonna go heal the girl, but we're gonna clear the rest of this direction first. There's two main,
Let's have a look.
at least the way I look at it. I'm not gonna say that's gonna be the same for everybody, but I look at it as there's two main loops in the Underdark. Three if you count Grimforge being kind of second. There's this kind of section we're on. Ooh. We'll come back to that. These elixirs of bloodlust are amazing. We're definitely going to be making some when we can. Karlach will love them. I will probably use one in Grimforge, so you can see kind of what they do. Back to what I was saying. There's two main sections. There's this section we're doing now, which when we look at the map is kind of this upper area. Grimforge is across the lake, so that's that way. But this upper area is gonna, we're gonna do the Balin quest. The Susar tree that we're gonna be going to is up here, things like that. Then there's a lower area that comes around and goes to the Arcane Tower. That'll be the second portion that we do. So you can see this boat. This is the boat that's going to go to Grimforge. Grimforge will be kind of the third section that we do. You want that to be last. It's definitely the hardest of the three sections. And, although I would actually argue the hardest individual fight is actually in this section. Or is in the second section. The other thing about Grimforge is it has a time component to it, which the other sections aren't as bad about. So, in Grimforge, there is somebody who's trapped, and if you rest after you get there, he dies. You don't get the option to... did I? Yeah, okay, I did. You don't get the option to save him if you don't get to that interaction before your next long rest. To make it more fun, on the way to Grimforge, there's actually an interaction as well, or a combat. That's a pretty large combat, and at that point, you kind of are given the option: do you want to keep going, or do you want to turn around and rest? I generally recommend turn around and rest. Get everything back before you go to Grimforge, because if you do turn around there, you're still in good shape. This diary is actually Wolbrin's. He's, of course, the gnome that we helped earlier. We're going to go down here. We're going to get this section. You can inspect these holes. It doesn't really give you anything. Some kind of creepy backstory. I highly suggest doing it. There it is. I made a perception in here too. Oh, we spotted that gold necklace up there. Neat. I don't know if I've ever spotted that before.
Open up.
Who doesn't like picking up wine? I don't quite know how I'm gonna get that. I guess I can jump down and get it if I really want to. Not really hurting, to be honest. Awesome. Gold necklace. I don't need it that bad. Okay, so we're gonna come back. Kind of through the village. And there's bodies all along here. If you're looking, there's a ton of executed gnomes, dead dwargar, things like that. Most of them have a little something on them, so they're worth looting. The Duergar use the gnomes as slaves. So they went through and executed a whole lot of them at a certain point, and then there was, of course, the large combat where they killed a bunch of the Myconids as well. So we're going to come up and around. This is going to lead us towards the Susar tree. And we're going to deal with that portion. And then we are going to see if we can rescue Balin. And I'm going to try something that I have failed at a couple of times when I'm going to rescue Balin. But I would really, really, really like to, in the process, also save or also, I should say, loot something. Uh-oh. Okay, thank goodness. This is not where I want to fight. What that does. But I have a feeling we are going to fight it soon. This would be okay to fight in here. Okay, so this is a hook horror. So and I think we're just coming the back way around, which is fine. Now he hasn't got to go yet, so he's going to get crit, hopefully. I guess sneak attacked anyway.
Let's go.
I keep forgetting to use the Hunter's Mark. One of these days. I'm going to just slide further, pretty far back and see. Hide? Looks like I did. I don't have my hex. I lost it. So we're just going to go ahead and not get any crits apparently. Do a little damage though. One of the things I like to do is kind of split up when I know something like this is coming. Why not? She doesn't do a lot of range attacks, does she? Keep my two tanks in the middle here. Do the same thing. Give her a little piercing shot. I'm not worried about hitting with that. Mostly I want it to come to me, and it's going to. It is going to take some attacks. Ow. That didn't feel great. But now we get to open up on it. Okay, Shadowheart is just going to heal herself. I think we'll use a lay on hands. That's actually not going to do that much. She only has that one level so far. So we'll just actually use one of our big heals.
Let's get going.
That's fine. Hook horrors do carry something that you can use to do alchemy. I promise, we'll do some alchemy eventually. So this is where we find the bark is on this tree. But we're kind of doing this in a different order than I usually do it. This is what I wanted to happen actually this whole time, sadly.
Must keep
Okay. Oh, she got knocked down. That's not great. I'm knocked down.
Come on, let's go. Soldier?
Main thing is we want to be a little split up.
Ready or not.
Well.
So this is a boulette. So boulette was actually a pet of someone else in the game that we'll learn a little more about later. But they are pretty stout. If we examine it, we can see territorial, opportunity attacks, of course, it can do all those things. But it has a lot of health, 125. So we do need to plan on trying to kill it as quickly as we can. And to do that, I am going to go ahead and open with I think it's worth the level 1 to go ahead and do a hex. And then I'm actually just going to use a couple of these. Wish one of those would have been a hit, a crit. You can see I actually still did respectable 19, and I'm going to move as far from it as I can. I might be able to jump this far, I don't know. But I would love for it to go pick someone else. Oh no! And you can see very damaging to Shadowheart, so we're going to have to get her up eventually. But 100% unplanned to rage here. Hoping we can get some really good damage out.
Well, well. Look what we have here.
Okay, I kind of messed up actually in that, but we'll be okay. Should have brought Astarion in that round. But he now gets to enter combat. He did do a healthy amount of damage there. Technically it's not his turn though. And then I'm actually going to get Shadowheart up. Her being down is not great. I would love to be if I could hit Karlach with that too, but I couldn't. And then I'm gonna move myself even further out of the way. I don't think he cared, it still came after me. Oh, it did so much. Now I'm down. This is where the world starts to really hurt. Karlach's gonna drink one of these. She's feeling a lot better now. I'm not too worried about killing this. I think eventually we will. It's just more the rather annoying like process of getting it done. Because you can see, like, Shadowheart's back up. I'm down, but I'll be okay. We're gonna get a hunter's mark on it. It is in melee, so I guess I don't have advantage though. You know, in that case, we're actually gonna see if we can blind it. It is blinded. That's actually pretty useful. And I'm still technically alive, so Shadowheart is going to heal me.
Little soothing's in order. Take two.
I'm gonna drink health pot as soon as I can.
Alright, what now?
Drink a few of them. We're gonna go in short rest.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Could be worse. I have a feeling we're gonna run into him again. There's several other places he'll appear.
That's curious.
This is literally just one of them.
The rock under your feet juts upwards, forming a perfectly engraved tombstone with a small epitaph. In memory of Myrna, a shining light in this dark world, may you forever gaze upon the lake you loved to play in. As you dig, you slowly expose the skeletal remains of a large dog wearing a chunky leather collar.
Strange collar. It's got runes all over it. Definitely
So
magic.
this tower you can see over here is the Arcane Tower. And this is the owner of the Arcane Tower's dog. She's also the one who I believe trained the bullet at one point. So we will deal with her again. Well, not her, sorry, she's gone. We will deal with her tower and things to do with her again. So I actually did this backwards to how I normally do, which is kind of exciting actually. So you can see like there's some stairs here, there's actually a group up here. It's kind of waiting on us. So we're gonna actually come around this way, and then there's actually gonna be more hook horrors kind of to that direction. But I think it'll be fun to come this way. We'll change the pace. Never really done it this way. Oh, and here's our bullet back. Healed up. Definitely involved in the combat too. That's only gonna make it more awkward. So I'm going to go into a twinned chromatic orb. We'll make it a level 2 chromatic orb. We're going to do thunder. We're going to hit 1 on him. We're just going to go through 1 on him. We did critically hit that guy. You can see we did a massive amount there. Didn't critically hit Filio, but that's actually okay. That ended up doing more than I expected. So that was pretty strong. Actually very happy with that hit. And then he can come up. Filio's a caster, so if we can take him out of this equation quickly, that's a good thing.
Into the shadows. This will do nicely.
I don't think that stealth's gonna help very much, but we're gonna try. Okay, so Filio's down. We don't have to worry about a caster now. She's engaging a hook horror. So the main thing here. So I want to kill that if we can. So. We'll go for it. Did work. We got the guiding bolts on it. Which means it's also definitely interested in Shadowheart. So hopefully we didn't just kill Shadowheart again. Now that's interesting. He's actually engaging hook horrors. Love that. And that is a kind of factor in the game a little bit. It's important to consider. There are sometimes enemies who don't care who you are. They will engage whoever's close. They don't realize that there's a protagonist in the game. So that's actually a good thing for us. We also have a bunch of the hook horrors involved, so we are going to go and rage again. That's our last one. It's fine.
Want another?
The last thing we want to do is risk Shadowheart.
Best be on my way.
Now, I think I did get out of the anti-magic field. That's a fun fact of Zeus archeries. These create an anti-magic field. And that's just all the awkward. Okay, can't get it on it, so that's fine. Don't have a path on that, so we are just going to go classic magic missile. Throw through him on it. I killed the boulette. Which is good. That means we get the XP for the boulette, which is a very large amount. Now, that being said, I now have 2 very angry hook horrors by me. So I'm going to see if I can get out of danger. Ooh. Don't love that that didn't work. We're going to go bite this one though.
Let's finish this.
And we did use our second attack. Let's see if it actually hits. Sometimes there's that delay. Yes, it did. Okay. So we're not out of the woods yet. We still have 2 more hook horrors coming in this fight.
Got to press on.
They're definitely going to come up at us. If I remember correctly, there's actually one more down here. But no, it looks like we got that one pulled into this fight. Maybe not.
We're attracting too much attention.
Alright, so there's 2 of them down there.
These boots have seen
See if I can get the angle on them here. I don't have enough movement. I don't want to go any closer. I'm going to stay there.
On the way.
Starring's going to try to be sneaky.
No escape.
There we go. That was a good little hit.
It's no blood.
Somewhere we landed 10. Where's that 10? I saw 8 even. And we halved it. Let's go.
Soldier.
It's quite literally just getting her so she can stay raging.
Can't afford to let up.
And much the same on Shadowheart. That one's worth the guided strike. Alright, so we've got one pretty well be done. Alright, this is not going to go well. Oh! Could have been much worse. She didn't take any damage.
Breathe deep.
Alright, now. This is where I'm going to use this. This one. And I'll just do 2 on it, just in case I do crit. I was like, to heck with it, I'm going to make it crit. So with Karlach, we're going to move up and get into melee first. And this should allow Astarion to get his sneak attack off.
Let's spill some blood. To the death.
Perfect. It was a little rough at times, but it worked out. The Boulette fight definitely was challenging, but this fight I think went really, really well. You see, Bullet has some gear that's not amazing on it, but it was still a very good chunk of XP to kill him. And then we're going to come back up here. And one of the things I mentioned is I still want to try and
How do people do this all day?
successfully save our guy. Looks like we got Minor Image, Misty Step, Scroll of Sleep, Quarterstaff, an Ice Crystal, and some notes. If we read the notes, you can see they're talking about an adamantine forge. Hot hammer. Doran knows. Doran knows where it is. We're not good at investigation, our team. But I know what it means. This tattered scroll. Again, not super useful for our group because we kind of fail. But we can get this food. That's always valuable. Everybody knows I love to pick up food. An empty pouch.
Wish I had a bag of holding.
A couple of fishies. And you can see we're done over here. There is one more thing we want to actually pick up. It's going to be up on the tree. I believe we pick it up right over here. There it is. Susar bark. One of the things we can do is now go make a weapon with that Susar bark. So, it does bring up the question, what weapon are we going to make? And it gets a little tricky there, because there's a number of possibilities. There's 3 different weapons you can make. You can make a sickle, you can make a greatsword, you can make a dagger. In our case, we're going to probably... Oh, this is not going to go well. Usually I blow these up. Everybody, come over here.
These markings look recent. What could have left
It's fine. Hook horrors left those, actually. We actually need to go that way, but I need to get us out of that. I'm gonna blow these up. Okay. Oh, we got an inspiration of that. So this is where our guy is. Now, if you saw how those all behaved, you can just imagine this is just going to be the most fun. But there is a way to handle them. And we are going to try to get him out while also getting what he's after, which is right over there. So that's our goal. He's going to warn us real quick as we get close. Now I think Shadowheart still has a spell. Good. That is kind of the one key. We need her to still have a spell.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
So first things first.
One day I'll catch a break.
We're going to move Astarion and Karlach back. We don't need them. Shadowheart and I will handle everything on this.
Don't burn yourself. La la la.
Can't afford to stay idle.
Still alive, so that's progress.
It should eventually trigger.
Stop! Stop! People bang!
So Bipperbang mushrooms have a poison gas that's explosive.
A mushroom that releases dangerous spores. Highly flammable.
I know that. Scroll. Escape. My bag, please. I've dropped it somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you.
So his bag is also by the torch. So we can see here. His bag is somewhere over here. There it is. Balance bag. So the trick to this is we're going to throw his bag to him. He's going to get out. And then we're going to put the torch out. And then we're done. But how are we going to do this? Well, first off, if you look on us, I believe someone somewhere has an elixir of protection. That's one. Poison resistance. So we're going to need one of these. And this is going to be Shadowheart's job, because she has create water. She can put the torch out too.
What are they?
First, I want to get him out, because I don't want him involved in this. So, I'm going to cast a mage hand. Right here. It's going to slowly... Oh my goodness. Or I just killed the guy. Well, so much for that fun. So, fun fact, I actually don't feel that bad. Ah, this is the fun thing about doing this. How we're doing it. Alas. Oh, there's so much value in that noble stock that's back there. Maybe it's still there. Maybe it survived. Okay. So let's just talk about that. So the plan is you take the mage hand and you throw it. I forgot to click on the mage hand. This happens. This is the fun of playing a live game. Oh, patch myself up. Well, just for fun, we're gonna kill this one. So the reason why it's not such a bad thing, I mentioned that. He was actually incredibly abusive towards his wife. And then messing with mushrooms over time caused him to lose his memory. He drank a lot, he beat on her, he wasted their money, things like that. So, ultimately, I don't feel that bad. He's not a good person. What I'm bummed about is there's a noble stock back here that's part of like her quest that gets destroyed when we do that. So, unfortunately, that means we did miss out on that. Bummer. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. Or killed wife beaters. Like I said, a little bit of a bummer. I've done it successfully. Like, that was a dumb example of where I just didn't click on mage hand. And that's one of those fun things that you get when you play with no saves. Like, I specifically said I'm not going to save scum, so I didn't. And you could say it just cost me there. Somewhere I have a shovel, right? Yeah, I do.
Nothing.
There's a place to dig around here somewhere. I don't remember where it is. There it is. Well, alas. We'll just tell her that he died. Will I tell her I killed her? Probably not. Okay, so that is pretty much this section. Everything over here is done. We've killed everything. We've done it. So our next part is going to actually be nothing really in that area. Is to come this way and go kind of the bottom end here. But we have a couple things to do before we do that. First, we're going to go to Baldur Village. I am pretty certain I picked up the Caesar bark. And I thought we had a greatsword somebody was carrying around. If we don't, we'll go back to camp real quick. Nope, she's got a greatsword in her bag, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to make the greatsword. It is a big, big, big upgrade. Karlach will lose just a hint of damage off that blade, but the +1 to hit means she's going to hit more often, and the damage or the component that it does, which is silence, is well worth it. Um, there are a lot of casters, things like that, that we fight later. Them not being able to cast, massive. All right, so
Time to get this thing fired up.
we gotta get the fire going. We're gonna combine. I kind of hate where it always pops the combine thing. I'll be honest. I wish it popped it to one side, but what are you gonna do? So now you can see fire is glowing nice and blue with the Susar bark. We can combine again. We're gonna put the greatsword.
The
And now
roaring furnace awaits an offering.
we're gonna make her like a toy.
A candy-sweet scent wafts forth. The Susa bark infuses the weapon from within the flames. The flames sputter away. The sword is complete.
So a couple of patches ago, they actually redesigned the look. Originally, the Susar bark greatsword it looked like whatever greatsword you basically made it with. Now they gave it a new unique design. I think it looks fantastic. I love how it looks, and it's all the Susar weapons, I should say, have that, but the greatsword I feel like is probably the most commonly made. Maybe the dagger after that. Love it. You can see her attack did go up. It is a +1 weapon as opposed to being no enchantment other than the damage. Her damage went down slightly. We swap them out. You can see this is actually still 6 to 16. I don't think the damage is picking up. That 9 to 22 is what it's showing there. We put this one on, it's 9 to 19. So we lost 3 top end, but was a better chance to hit and a silence. Well worth it. She's still hitting plenty hard. We don't have to worry about that. So, you also want to notice this little chunk, this ice crystal. That is going to be something we're going to pick up, and there's going to be something we make with that. I don't know if I'm going to use it, to be fully and completely honest, but we are going to make it, because we could always give it to Gale. But our next step is to go back to the Mycid colony. We got a few more people we got to talk to about stuff. And then we're going to wrap up. I'm sorry, kind of this one is bookended with a lot of talking. If it makes you feel better, we're not going to rest this one. We'll start with resting the next time and get all those conversations out of the way.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
Unless we get through these conversations really fast. We'll try to put all the resting there so we can rest and jump into combat next time. So first, let's disappoint her. I could lie.
Dead. Worthless old fool. He had one bleeding job. Love. Never heard of it. Balin was a rotten old bastard. Treated me like an old shoe for 70 years before his mind started to go. Softened him up. Made him realize how much he needed me. Losing his mind was the only good he ever did by me. Collecting noble stock. Valuable mushroom. We've a shop in Baldur's Gate. The locals go mad for it. Not no more, though. I've yet met an ailment it couldn't help. Baldness, blindness, poison, piles, and best of all, it cures my dangerously underweight purse. Might do, but why bother? Thing sells in town for enough to make your eyes bulge. I'll find my way out. No point hanging around this den of misery.
Yep. Kind of feel bad,
I should speak up.
but I'm over it.
What? Now Balin's dead. I've got to get myself moving. You come across a noble stock mushroom about, you give it here. Gods know I've earned it.
We already know why it's valuable. No reason to into that. But we're going to go and sell. You might have seen me pick this up. It's a crooked wand of fireballs. I'm going to save it. I have a time I'd like to try to use it. It's just one of those things that I think could go terribly wrong, but it might be really fun to use. So there might come a time that we pop that out and use it. I'm gonna save that dog collar. You'll see I'm actually selecting a lot of items this time. I finally have just broken down and started doing that. We're selling. Let's see what you got, girl. Oh, we haven't rested yet, so not much. No, still worthwhile.
A long way to go still.
Clear some stuff out of our inventory. Don't worry, we'll pick up plenty. Want some myconid fletch. They're actually pretty heavy.
Keep your distance, Dad.
Alright, that's fine. We smell our spider egg? Look at that. That spider egg sack can be relatively useful at times. Oh, probably just heard my dogs go off. Okay, we're gonna finish up. We're gonna talk to Thula. We're gonna get her cured. We're gonna talk to Spa, and then we're gonna go get our reward. So this is where I'm a decent guy. I'm about saving people.
Ah, gods. Whatever that is, I needed it. Why are you helping me? No arguments there. Felt like a hook horror was sorting through my guts. But that cure did the trick. Quick, sharp too. I thank you for your help, but I gotta get moving. Oh, it hurts. Carl's garters. Oh, I don't have time for this. My kin need me. Maybe not, but you are. I need you to rescue my kin. We can pay. We're Ironhand Clan, best artificers in Baldur's Gate. We were on an expedition down here when the Dwarf snatched us up. I got away, but not the others. The Greys have them digging out some old ruin across the lake. Just mining for materials. Nothing unusual. But our work pays well. Help my clan, and we'll make it worth your while. I swear.
So they're up to a lot more. I didn't figure that out.
Thank
But
you.
I'm a decent guy, so I'm gonna
I
help.
only wish
So.
I could go with you. But here. I nabbed these boots from the Greys when I ran. I'll feel better knowing you're using them to kick some Dwarger ass. I'll mark where I made my escape, and wait here, I suppose. Not much choice, eh?
Okay, these boots, great. One of my favorite items in the game, to be honest. We're gonna take the boots of striding, put them on me. Oh wait, the medium armor. Shoot, that won't work. Never mind. We'll keep those on her. Well, didn't plan on that. Do you wear medium armor? Well, we're gonna give these, I guess, to Karlach then. They will give her a ton of extra movement, which is good. I'll get boots eventually. And in the classic move, I'm gonna send these to camp. And at some point, I need to sort this and use some of these. I think. More repeats. There we go. And I do need to at some point let Gale look through them and see which ones he wants to memorize. But like I said, we're not going to use Gale that much.
Hello, child.
Alright, we will talk to the spa, and we'll go...
Greets
Ooh,
you with a harrowing elegy,
oh, I didn't mean to have
cheerless as the new
a
moon.
star and do the talk, but it's fine.
You are one with Spore. Your throat tightens, then relaxes. The air is serene, your mind untroubled.
And I sense only silence from the Dwargar hunters. The rot is cleansed. The songs we sing now carry your spirit. You shall now be called Kin Spirit. You aid us in good faith. In good faith, I thank you. The Guardian Gate is open. Go and claim your reward. But before this, I have another boon to ask of you. You have cut out the Dwargar blight, but not its source.
In your mind's eye, Spore shows you a drow, striding among Myconid dead.
Near. This one is called. He hunted us. Hunt him in turn. Bring me his head, and I will know my circle is safe.
This near sounds like bad news. Guess we could lend a hand, right?
The drow lurks in the ruins beyond the lake. Bring him death and return.
So it's always a tough one, honestly, the near fight, but it should be fine.
Swift as my feet
Like I
can
said, we're
carry
gonna go and collect this. We're gonna rest next time. 'Cause I think there will be a couple conversations when we rest. Nothing else Karlach wants to meet. Hey, and I still have a spell that I can use to cool her down. So maybe we'll have a little kiss. Alright, so you can see Nier's got a couple scrolls, a little wine. There's some mushrooms in here. Not Nier, sorry. This is a different guy. I forget what his name is. We'll pick this up though. Lots of materials.
The people of this plane never fail to amuse me.
And the Shadow Mesor. So let's look at what we picked up. First off, let's do this. Oh, I forgot we had all these scrolls I've been picking up. My goodness. I'm very much slacking on the scroll duty. But I also picked up full mating rituals, so let's start by reading that.
The cover proudly announces this book to be Flump Mating Rituals.
Ah, good job,
The
success.
scrutiny proves too much. The lurid text melts away before your eyes. An illusion. What remains are simple instructions written in a spare hand. The secret to forging adamantine.
So there's essentially 3 elves. Here, let's do this. And you can see we picked up another icy piece. There's 3 drow, and they all have information essentially about forging adamantine. We'll put these items on Karlach. That can go to Karlach. Let's actually look and see what this does. Visibility ends early. If you attack, you can become invisible for 2 turns on short rest as an action. So, very short duration. We're going to go and give that to Astarion. It is an action, which I don't love, but I do like the look it gives him, so we'll go and give it to him. Plus, he wasn't wearing a magic helmet or anything. We'll let him show his helmet with it. How's that look? Alright. We would do though Shadowheart, but this one looks silly. And unfortunately, Karlach's horn doesn't always interact, and I love Karlach's hair, so we're going to keep that going. So that's pretty much that. We are going to end it there. We will go back to camp, but we're not actually going to do our rest. In fact, we're going to go ahead and start the long rest process so we can see how many people are expecting a conversation. Let's see, we got Karlach wants to talk. She wants to get a lot closer. And that's about it, actually. We just have Karlach, so that's good. We'll pick up next time with that. Alright, thank you all so much, and I'm going to go ahead and get this saved. And like I said, we'll see you next time.